Vester only wanted to report a problem. Then the problem became Rimuru giving bodies to demons, Tempest hiding world-ending power inside its police force, and Deeno offering advice that sounded too stupid to work. AI Anime and Manga presents. Please like, comment, and subscribe. YouTube members get early access to new episodes and help cover narrations, subtitles, thumbnails, and renders. Now, let's hear why Vester decided the safest answer was to make someone else read the report first. Before we go any further, I found a short side report from Vester about a problem only Tempest could create. This is his account, so I will let him explain it in his own words. My name is Vester, and it was always my dream to conduct useful research for the world at large as I served the great heroic King Gazel. It did not quite work out for me that way. Instead, I became a minister in the armed nation of Dwargon, following in the footsteps of my father. Or that is who I used to be, I suppose. Thanks to my own foolish envy, I lost that position long ago. The Corps of Engineers I was assigned to at the time was working with elven technicians to develop a new kind of weapon. It was a top-secret magic armor soldier project, as we called it, and a man named Kaijin was chosen to lead it. He was a commoner whose family ran a blacksmith forge, but he had a broad range of knowledge, and the constant effort he put in won him the adulation of his staff. He tended to get hot-headed at times, but there was no denying his talents as a boss. No matter how hard I tried, I just could not see eye to eye with him. Not because he was a commoner, mind you. Even at the time, his abilities were more than worthy enough for him to be called a master craftsman. That was why I was so jealous of him. Kaijin had become well known through his family business alone, but he was also putting up serious research results. I, meanwhile, was a humble researcher, a one-trick pony by comparison. I came from nobility. My father was a marquis, and I was already destined for a ministerial position in time. While my father was still capable of reigning over his holdings, I would serve in the army and devote myself to research, but it was to be nothing more than a hobby for me. It was tremendously frustrating. I have no talent for politics. I do not have the cool-headedness of my father, and I certainly do not have the raw charisma of King Gazel. Even so, the staff at the Marquis' Manor were all top talents, and I would be guaranteed an environment where I could thrive in politics without really trying. What is more, some of them were in ministerial positions themselves. But things like government administration and policy were all decided by King Gazel and his cadre of elders. My seat would be for little more than show. I would not be missed if I never attended a meeting, and no matter how hard I tried, I would never actually help the king at all. I was sure at the time that I would never be allowed to do anything substantial for my nation. That is why I was so opposed to Kaijin. He could serve our king even in his blacksmith role. I had nothing but research talents, and it just seemed so unfair to me. Besides, I did not have the time to leisurely devote myself to research. My father had fallen ill. His condition was only getting worse, and the day when I would become head of our noble holding was near. I needed to put up serious results soon, or my life would end without King Gazel ever taking notice of me. The thought of that was too painful to bear. So I ignored Kaijin's opinion that we needed to keep the pace of our development slow and steady. I forcibly conducted an experiment that led to one of our spirit cores, the keys to our whole project, going out of control. The whole thing was a failure, and the entire project was shut down, never seeing the light of day. I was in a daze afterward, but my family maneuvered for me behind the scenes. Somewhere along the line, Kaijin left the military, shouldering all responsibility for the incident. The next thing I knew, I was a minister. Now I was not even in a position where I could give an honest apology to anyone. I had grown blind to the fact that the only joy I found in life was when I got to harass Kaijin about something. A terribly boring way to live. Much later, out of nowhere, something drove me to apologize to him. I said, "Yeah, sorry about back then." Kaijin shot me a funny look, like he did not know what I was talking about. Sorry about what? Rimuru did not give you the budget to increase production on those models, or? I shook my head. No, he has already given his approval for that. His Majesty cajoled Sir Mulmeal into giving us all the funding that we need. Great, Kaijin said. So why the apology? I answered. Oh, I am talking about long ago. You know, pestering you, running you out of the military. Half of it was not me so much as my staff doing my bidding. But still, I know it is too late, but I realized that I never said sorry for any of it. Kaijin chuckled. Yeah, it sure is coming late. But did you not apologize to me for that ages ago? I think I did once, not long after I came to this country. I had meant every word of it, but still, I wanted to give him an official apology sometime. For a moment, neither of us had much else to say. Every single day in this nation is a cavalcade of surprises. I know that sounds like nothing more than an excuse, but I wanted to get that off my chest before anything else. Kaijin was too busy to think about it right then, or so he told me. King Gazel could be a pretty capricious man, but Sir Rimuru is the most wildly free and uncontrolled person I have ever met. Just look at him, counting on me for such an important job. The first difficult job I had was educating the monsters. When he asked me to teach them the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic, the admittedly rude first thought in my head was, is he nuts? By the way, the abacus he provided as a tool for teaching math turned out to be quite a useful device, enough that we adopted it in Dwargon. Sir Rimuru produced a sample for us, and the design of the model we used was pretty much identical. And I was teaching them more than basic comprehension. There were classes devoted to practical skills too, and I was charged with teaching them manners as well. Manners? To monsters? Could I be blamed for thinking this whole operation was a farce? I asked Sir Rimuru what the point of that was, and he just smiled and said, well, you know, I want us interacting with humans going forward. That sounded insane to me, but I had no right to refuse him. I just nodded and said, very well. The work, however, turned out to be much more engaging than I had assumed. The female goblins I taught, led by Lady Shuna, were quite enthusiastic about learning how to properly carry themselves. The males were no slouches either, learning how to politely handle visitors, hoping to mitigate their often vicious-looking appearances. All the monsters I worked with were much more eager to learn than I had expected. It was fun for me to teach them. We agreed that I would keep this up until they could prepare a research lab for me, but even now I regularly participate in these classes. That is how valuable that time is to me. So, in the meantime, they finished building the lab inside a spot called the Sealed Cave. Looking back, they did not give me much more than the bare minimum, but the thought of devoting myself to research once again made my heart soar. In the process, I was introduced to Gabiru the Dragon Ute, becoming close friends with him as I realized that we shared the same mission. His outside-the-box ideas greatly motivated me, encouraging the spirit of inquiry that I had almost forgotten about. I was not at all sure what would happen to me when I was first brought here, but by this point I have nothing but appreciation for King Gazel. I can honestly state that I am happy here, but that does not mean my life is wholly free of problems. And that is what I had just come to Kaijin's place to discuss. With the apology out of the way, it was time to delve into my main business. Kaijin said, "Really? Well, I appreciate you saying that." Then he looked at me a little more closely. Sure. But that is not all you are here for, right? I asked. Oh, you could tell? Of course, Kaijin said. You have always been in the habit of bringing up a thorny issue only after going through a round of idle chit-chat first. Putting it off, kind of. He might have had a good point. I had been acquainted with Kaijin for a while, so he probably knew my disposition well. I braced myself and stated my business. No point beating around the bush. I said, well, to tell you the truth, I wanted to discuss something with you. Kaijin answered, discuss? Well, it cannot be anything that serious if you got your budget. Our budget was important, but no, it was not that. Oh, it is serious, I said. Much more so than my budget. Kaijin hesitated. Is it? I got the idea that he could not picture me being troubled about anything more important than my budget. But never mind that. It was a thorny issue, but I was sure Kaijin could find me an answer. I began. Well, over in Sir Rimuru's lab, Kaijin cut in at once. Whoa, you are talking about the top secret lab he keeps for his personal stuff. You sure you should be talking freely about it? I really should not have been. I knew that well enough without him telling me, but I just could not keep quiet about this any longer. After all, I knew for a fact that Sir Rimuru was giving physical bodies to hundreds of demons at once in there. There were also a few archdemons among them. I had seen those fearsome creatures receiving bodies with my own 2 eyes. I had even witnessed Sir Rimuru giving them names. How could I begin to express the horror I felt? Yes, I had a duty not to disclose any secrets, but this was really something I had to tell King Gazel about, was it not? And Sir Rimuru never asked me to keep quiet about this, bear in mind. We already have a technology sharing agreement in place, and I am free to provide the results of my personal research to Dwargon anytime I want. But, well, you know, I chose my words carefully. All right, I will try to keep it abstract then. In that lab, he is currently mass-producing the kind of war power that would allow him to take on the entire world at once. I thought, you know, that King Gazel should know about this as well. Kaijin had a valid point, so I tried to be as indirect as I could, but his reaction was a lot more vigorous than I anticipated. Wait, Kaijin said. Vester, what is this stuff you are saying out of nowhere? I blinked. Was that too abstract for you to make sense of it? No, you idiot, he snapped. In fact, it is about as non-abstract as it gets. Was it? I did not think so. I was still hiding the more important parts. I let out a small laugh. Do not worry, Kaijin. I am sure you would be agonizing over it too if I gave you all the details. But for now, I just want to hear your reaction to that. Kaijin frowned. You expect me not to worry about that? Because you have always had this habit of trying to escape from reality whenever something bad happens to you like this. I found that pretty rude of him. But I was too worried about what I knew to let that bother me. So what do you think I should do? I asked. Should I keep it locked up in my mind, or should I report back to King Gazel? Kaijin gave my question some thought, scratching his head as he answered me. Vester, he said, I think you are a little tired out. Why do you not just head home for today and enjoy a drink or two? He grinned at me. Great, he was running from the question. I protested. That is not really an answer, you realize? Oh, lay off me, you idiot, he shot back, and quit dragging me into something this vital. That was perfectly justified of him, but I was not going to back down. Aw, do not say that, I told him. You are doing me a favor here, Kaijin said. I abandoned my country, you realize. I do not have the kind of responsibility a Dwargon marquis like you has. Oh, do not be so distant, I replied. You are a boss to me now, Kaijin. I respect you a lot. Did you not always used to tell your staff that noble titles did not matter nearly as much as social standing? Sure, bring that up now, he said. Is this why you were apologizing earlier? You always were crafty like that. Our verbal scuffle continued for a little while after that, with me trying to drag Kaijin into this and him trying to make a clean escape. But I could already see where this was going. Kaijin was a responsible man, and I knew he would never just try to run from me if he had heard this much of it. Kaijin clicked his tongue. All right, give me the rest of the details. I smiled, satisfied. I knew you would say that eventually. As expected, Kaijin agreed to hear me out. So we went over to a high-end tavern located inside the labyrinth. Dwarves and drink are never far from each other, and while I look more like an elf on the outside, it is still a favored hobby of mine, and all the wonderful drink they manufacture in this nation. The staff at this tavern are thoroughly trained to not reveal secrets to anyone too, so even if they overhear something they should not, they will never tell a soul. We were guaranteed to be safe in here, so it was perfect for discussing delicate affairs like this. So what are you thinking about doing? Kaijin asked. I decided to be honest with him. If I stay silent and something bad happens afterward, I would feel terrible. I have not been told to keep quiet about it, so I feel I have a duty to file a report. Kaijin gave my response a thoughtful nod. Yeah, that would not count as an illegal tip-off under the terms of our original agreement, I am sure. Besides, are you not still officially a Marquis of Dwargon? I was. It was something even I forgot about on occasion, but my home nation had never stripped me of my noble title, and I had never voluntarily given it up. I mean, really, I was just back at home in a daze, and the next thing I knew, King Gazel kidnapped me and sent me over to Sir Rimuru. There had not been any time at all back then to work out what my position in Dwargon would be. The nobility in the Dwarven Kingdom do not own their domains. All land is technically owned by the king, and we pay rent to the government to gain the right to oversee it. The definition of domain is likely quite different from other nations as well. Dwargon has only 3 large cities, located in the central, east, and west sides of the nation. Beyond that, you had the manors that line the bases of our mountains and the living spaces built into the mines excavated within natural caves. These living spaces, divided into wards, are what the nobility manage. We were overseeing family registers, to borrow a phrase from Sir Maru. That means we look after the residents of the ward that we run, accept the taxes they pay us, and carry out our other duties as nobility. The number of families we oversee depends on our noble title, but as a marquis, I actually made quite an income. After committing as bad a blunder as I did, costing me the confidence of King Gazel, I was sure that my title would be seized as well. But I was still being treated as a marquis to this day, and that meant my yearly tax revenue was still streaming in. The talented stewards that supported our family were taking care of all that business for me even now. My family was still receiving their payments, and since I had not been officially exiled from my homeland, I was actually free to go back and live there whenever I wanted. I did not want to do that, of course, and I did not plan to. Living here was just too much fun by comparison. My personal servants had also joined me here, and I was enjoying a more luxurious lifestyle in Tempest than I had over there. The food is great, the drinking scene is spectacular, and I can do all the research work I want. It is like heaven to me. Sir Mulmeal can be stingy with my budget sometimes, but now I am drifting well off subject. I admitted, yes I am. And considering my position as Marquis, not telling King Gazel would be akin to betraying his trust. Kaijin said, I do not think keeping quiet is the same as betraying him. But yes, I do think it is your duty to make a report. Yeah, I guess so. I did not really need him to tell me that anyway. But the problem was, how would I report it? I asked, so you think I should just say it all? Like he is building enough firepower to destroy the world? Kaijin stared at me. Whoa, did you drink too much? And for that matter, is it that grave of a thing in the first place? This is some good drink. I could not get enough of this mellow taste. It was refreshing, aromatic, and just so wonderfully mild. I could feel it freeing me of all my concerns. But, yeah, you know about Ultima and Carrera, right? I asked. Oh? Kaijin said. Well, of course, but seriously, are you all right? I am getting whiplash from these changes of subject. I am not changing the subject, I told him, and I would have to be drunk to talk about this kind of thing. Kaijin's face changed. Wait, so are you telling me? You guessed it, I said. Those two are part of the firepower he is building. Huh, I see, Kaijin said. Well, that would certainly explain why the police overseeing the adventurers are so damn strong. I never saw them in the Tempest security forces, so I figured they were some kind of secret force out training in the wilderness somewhere. I began to think Kaijin was finally grasping the seriousness of all this. Nobody in Tempest ever dared to defy the city's police force, and nobody dreamed of complaining about any of its court verdicts. Why? Because they regulated the conduct of criminals with absolute overwhelming power. Anyone who saw them could tell that they were insurmountably powerful fighters. In terms of adventurer ranks, even the lowliest police officer would spill over the A mark. Kaijin tried to put it together. But wait, what? So the police are their world-conquering firepower? Yeah, I said. It is the perfect camouflage, is it not? Well, I am not so sure, but Kaijin looked confused. I could understand why. The thought of these fearsome, world-destroying demons serving as the police force protecting our citizens? I asked him, so assuming I told King Gazel about this, how do you think he would react? Kaijin struggled with it. Well, this would be hard to tell him, would it not? Right? I said. There is no way anyone would believe me. People might even start disgraceful rumors saying that I have gone mad. I think I would still have the king's trust, but all the intermediaries between him and me would try to cast doubt on it, I am sure. Yeah, muttered Kaijin, finishing off his cup. He was staring at me, no doubt cursing me for getting him involved. So I gave him a smile. What do you think I should do? I asked. Kaijin sighed. Well, Now I am not sure you should just meekly tell him. It is a tricky question for me too. Kaijin and I fell silent for a little while, pondering the correct answer. The monotony was only broken by Sir Deeno, whom we had invited over. Deeno burst in cheerfully. Whoa, Vester! It is no fair, you two having all the fun. You should have called me in sooner. And buy me a drink while you are at it too. Then I will listen to whatever problems you have got for me. He gave me a broad, reassuring smile. I wasted no time asking him. All right, Sir Deeno, I said. What do you think I should do? I was drunk, which meant that I completely forgot that he was a demon lord as well. Deeno said, forget about it. Just palm the responsibility off on someone else. And if he gets yelled at, that is just bad luck for him. Sir Deeno shot us a thumbs up to accentuate his point. Kaijin began. No, I really do not think... It is fine, Deeno continued, interrupting the concerned Kaijin. Honestly, I have been asked to report a bunch of things too, but I ditched that responsibility real quick. I got raked over the coals for that, so I promised myself that I would do more reporting. But it is up to me who I report to, right? So I just told whatever random guy I decided on, and that wound up working out just great. They wind up getting yelled at, and I can hold my head high and say I did what was asked of me. I feel so refreshed every day now. Highly recommended. And with that sage advice, Sir Deeno ordered his first round and began drinking. I suppose he was already done with this conversation. Now I felt like an idiot for agonizing over this. Right, I said. I think that is exactly what I am going to do. Deeno brightened. Excellent. Good idea, Vester. No wonder you are my boss. Having a demon lord like Deeno give me that encouragement made me feel a bit proud of myself. It was odd. Kaijin objected. He is poisoning your mind, man. You cannot use this guy as a reference. Think it over. Kaijin had been carrying on for a bit now, but even his prattling sounded comforting to me. Let us drink, I declared. It is on me tonight, guys. Let us see how far we can go, Deeno shouted. Yay! That is the spirit. Kaijin tried to stop us. Whoa, are you all right? Because I think even top management like you cannot afford to go crazy in this joint, Deeno cut in. Hey, quit sweating the small stuff, old man. Just chill out and let us have at it. Kaijin snapped. You just want to drink on someone else's tab. Deeno did not even deny it. Well, yeah. How is that a problem? It most certainly is not, I said. My mind is free of troubles now, Kaijin, so now it is time to celebrate. Let us paint the town red. I felt like king of the world, and before long the party began in earnest. Hopefully I would not have to deal with a bunch of other stupid trouble tomorrow. That was the only wish in my mind as the three of us clinked our full glasses. Later, the agent I gave my report to said, Sir Vester, you must be very tired. Looks like he did not believe me after all. That was exactly what I had anticipated, but I still had no regrets. After all, I had done so much regretting the moment I saw the tab after I sobered up that I think I broke my regret emotion for good. I gave a weak laugh and said, yeah, maybe you are right. But do not say I did not file the report, all right? With that, I ended my regular contact call. My report would be verified much later, but nobody questioned whether I was responsible. Some did, actually, but the nameless agent took all the heat based on our magical call records. It really did turn out the way Sir Deeno said it would. I am so glad I thought to discuss it with him.
Route confirmed. The next episode and full playlist are ready.
Then don't stop here. Keep watching in story order and subscribe before the next part drops.